Hi friends, it's Terry Stewart, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to an alternative for the January 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit. So I did my unboxing video about a month, thought that I was going to jump on the next week and share these alternatives, but life happens and I'm getting around to it now. So I'm so glad you could join me. So I'm going to turn the camera around so I can tell you all about this fun fold card I have planned. If you get sick, look away because the camera's moving. And when it moves, you see my ceiling, my light, my big head until I can get it turned around to my work space. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think we're kind of there. I do have some problems with this camera drifting on me, but maybe I've solved them. Hopefully, it'll knock on wood the last couple times. It has gone well for me. All right, with no drift. All right, so this is the Paper Pumpkin Kit. It is from January 2023. I think you can see that. Key to My Heart. And I did the unboxing about a month ago. And inside the kit, there was all the fixings to make 9 Valentine cards. And these, it was 3 each of 3 cards. Those cards are gone. I made the cards. I went on a cruise the week of Valentine. I took all those cards with me, and I gave them out to the crew members, and they were so grateful. So it really warmed my heart to be able to bless them with those cards. But in the kit, where I have my stamp set, and some odds and ends of things that there were leftovers basically. And so I am going to use this leftover. This was, there was a card that you punched this out. And so it was like not the negative, but the punch out. So I saved that. I saved some other little bits. And I'm going to use them on my card today. So I think that is what... Oh, and there was an ink spot, but I don't use the ink spot. I like my full-size ink pad. So let me show you the card real quick. This is called a reverse pleated gatefold. So a gatefold card is when you have 2 pieces that come together. Usually they come on the front, but this one pleats in the back, and so it's a gatefold, but it's reversed because the gatefold's in the back. So then you can stand it up. It looks very pretty. And so that's the fun fold that I'm going to use today. You can see that I have this leftover die cut, is the removal from inside the lock. I'm going to use that. Oh, one other thing there was an extra label in here that didn't get used. They get extras, and this one, so that I had an extra label. So this was one of the ones that was left over, this one with the flagged ends, and this was left over, but I'm going to use this one. So it just shows you different things that you can do. All right, so here is my card base. Bring that in. So it's a 5.5 by 8.5. If you check out my blog, stampinghair.blogspot.com, link is in the description below, whether you're on Facebook or you're watching this on YouTube. I will post all the measurements over there, the ingredients and the measurements, so go check that out. So 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock. I have 2 pieces of white cardstock, and they are 2 inches by 5 1/4, and then 2 pieces of Calypso coral, and these are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So for my card base, I scored it at 2 inches, 3 1/8, 5 3/8, and 6 inches. Again, those measurements will be on my blog spot. Check the description below for links to that blog post. I'm going to set this aside and do some stamping first. So let me move everything out of the way. I'm going to stamp on these 2 pieces of Calypso coral. I'm going to use the stamp set, this lock. It's in the shape of a heart. I like that, so we're going to start with that one. I'll bring in my block and pick that up. Now when I'm stamping, I like to keep my workspace pristine, so I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper, just a piece of copy paper that I have. So if any ink goes off of these two pieces, it will land on my scrap paper. And I'm going to use Calypso Coral. So I'm using Calypso Coral ink on Calypso Coral cardstock. So it's yes, a monotone or tone on tone. And I'm just going to randomly stamp this image going off the page, on the page. I'm trying to get this full thing inked. There we go. So I'm inking and pressing, giving it time for that ink to transfer from the stamp onto the cardstock. Do that. So just a few seconds. I heard a lady one time, another Stampin' Up demonstrator, and she called it that you could do an affirmation while you're stamping, just to give you that 3 seconds. So you can do an affirmation, stamping is fun, or I love to create cards, any kind of affirmation. How about I love to share cards? How's that? Anything that's a couple seconds long to give time for the ink to transfer from the stamp onto the cardstock. And maybe I'll just separate this one and do that on that side. And maybe one more, just fill in. How about that? Okay, so now we have our two side panels done. And the next part, I'm going to stamp on these pieces of white. And I'm going to use, clean my stamp off. I have my chamois off to the right. I'm going to take that stamp off and switch it out and bring in these hearts. And this is going to add a little detail to our centerpiece. Put the stamp down, pick it up with my block. There we go. And again, I'm going to use my scrap paper since I know that these hearts are going to go off. So just across the top and on the other side, and the same at the bottom. And they're going to go off too. Now I tried to get these not to go downhill, but that one looks like it goes a little bit downhill, but I'm going to be okay with that. I think it just adds a little bit that people know that it was handmade, and you know, there'll be variations. That's the good thing about handmade items. And then across the bottom. Aren't these little hearts so cute? Reminds me like maybe a pattern for a washi tape. And then the last thing we can get rid of our scrap paper now and stamp on the key, the center of the keyhole, and I'm going to do this round swirly pattern. And I want each of these dots to be top, bottom, left, right. So when I pick it up on my block, I'm going to keep that orientation to help me. And now, center it. That looks about right. Yeah, looks perfect right there. And now we need a keyhole for that lock. There it is. Bring back my block and pick that up. And I'm going to make that the same. So this card really is all about the Calypso coral. Right in the center. A few seconds for that ink to transfer. Nice. And that's all for the, yep, that's all for the Calypso coral. Oh. Now the next part I'm going to do is on this little banner, which, there it is. Woohoo, found it. And I'm going to do Love is the Key. So this set came with You Hold the Key to My Heart, Love is the Key, I Love You to My Valentine, and I am going to use this Love is the Key. I think the locks just work so well with that sentiment. Bring in my block, pick that up, and now we can stamp with black. I think the black ink just makes it pop against this white in the center of the label. And just center it in there. Give it a press and a few seconds to transfer. Perfect. And that is all the stamping for this card. So now we can do some assembling. And bring this piece back. So bring our base, and with some glue, I'm going to adhere these side pieces. Now, essentially what I've done is create my own designer series paper pattern. And you could definitely use any kind of DSP. You don't have to stamp this layer. But since I had that lovely stamp set, I went ahead and did it. Now, Paper Pumpkin is celebrating its 10-year anniversary this month, March. And to celebrate, if you order the Paper Pumpkin kit, the March kit is going to have a free gift. So each kit comes with a stamp set. The March kit is coming with 2 stamp sets. So there's going to be they're celebrating 10 years of growth. So the stamp set that is free is going to be a plant builder stamp set. So check out the description below. I'll have a link so you can subscribe and get that kit that has 2 stamp sets. Now when we're going to fold this, I've already got it scored. The first score is a mountain. So we're creating a mountain. And then the second one is a valley. So we're folding it that way. And that will tuck behind. So this first fold is a mountain. And the second fold is a valley. And now I'm going to bring in my bone folder and really crisp up those score lines. And this will help with it standing up. And so it can be displayed. Let's see, this one. This is the one I need to crisp up. For a minute there, I thought I had put those on one right side up, one upside down. Whew. Whew, that was a moment of panic. So then one of these, it doesn't really matter which. Oh, I think though I went too crazy. So on my back panel, you can write a personalized note. I just put those hearts on the bottom, but I guess I really like stamping today because I stamped top and bottom. Yeah, my family likes to joke. If it's not nailed down, I'm going to stamp it. It just goes to prove they might have a point. Nothing like too much stamping though, right? And then this white cardstock goes right in the center. Like that. And the good thing about glue, it will shift a little bit. So if you don't get it quite right, you do have a little forgiveness to move it. And I'm going to put the lock, the keyhole, and then this piece will get right below that. So now we can adhere this. Some liquid glue and put that, missed a little bit, put that right, center it left and right, get it going, don't want it there, perfect. Then on the back, put this panel and this where you can write your personalized note, and that fits right there in the center. It's the same size as that front panel. So, and I have some of these dimensionals left from the kit, and I'm going to put those. Now I want to make sure that those dimensionals don't hang over the score line, so I'm going to put those towards the middle. I'll just use 2 of them. It's sticking to me. And this way, when I pull off the covers, I know that those dimensionals won't overhang. And I'm going to put that right center. And there is our finished fun fold, reverse pleated gatefold card. So thank you for joining me. If you're watching me on Facebook, please like and follow my page. If you're watching on YouTube and you like this project, please subscribe so you'll get notified every time I upload a new fun project. And until next time, remember, stamping is fun. Bye!